Morning everybody. A very warm welcome to PROFCon 24. Firstly, I'd like to thank the PROF sponsors, Isuzu Truck, and today's sponsors. I'm not going to name them all. We've got them all on the screen. Thank you very much. I'm simply going to do a little bit of housekeeping. There's no fire drill today, so follow me, and I'll be following the Chief Fire Officer. Toilets are in the corner, and there's refreshments. All mobile phones either off or on silent, please, and if you do need to make a call, please leave quietly. We've got a very packed event today, trying our utmost to finish at 1:30 so we can have our free lunch on Richard. Each speaker will need to run closely on time, and whether you like it or not, there's no Q&A after any one of the presentations. If you're not happy with that, you need to take that up with Richard. So, I hope you have an enjoyable day. It's certainly action-packed, and we've got some very good speakers and very good content. I'd now like to pass over to someone that needs no introduction, Richard Goddard.
Thank you for that warm welcome. When I booked today, or when I trained for that today, I just didn't realise the significance of today, and I'm sure you'll indulge me in what was going on 80 years ago this morning. And I think before we start proceedings, I'd like you to join me in a minute's silence to remember D-Day. Thank you very much. Thank you. A minute's silence for Richard Goddard, that's a good way to start, isn't it? Listen, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to the 4th PROFCon. You can look around the room and see how it's grown, not just in numbers, but in stature and the way that we've united as a recovery industry. I looked down the table last night at the so-called President's dinner, and I saw what grew from 15 to 20 to 25 to last night 30 people. And I looked down that table, everyone laughing, eating, drinking, and having a good time. And I got a bit of a tear in my eye. Not because of what was happening, but because I was thinking about the bloody bill. But looking down that table and looking around this room, this industry has really come together as one. And we will move together as one. And we won't be, hopefully, fighting about stuff. We will be coming together to deal with it together and work things out. Our work providers are our colleagues, and we supply them with a service. And we know this industry, and if we can't work it out, how to make it better, then no one else can. The speakers today, I hope, will be very relevant to all of our businesses, and you can take things away. The reason why I don't want Q&As is because what are you going to sell from a Q&A today? What you need to do, and what I've always said, is take away the information that we're giving you, educate and learn about different aspects you may or may not know. Use the people that are here to network and work with them going forward. So Q&As won't make any difference. It's what you take away from today and what you do with it from today. So I look forward to a really good conference. What I'd like to do as well, when we do finish for lunch, I wasn't throwing myself in the canal like someone said I was. I was scoping because I'd like us to file out before we go into lunch and take a picture out the front of everybody that's here, because it is truly a united industry, and I want today to be photographed as that. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to a really good conference. Thank you. Oh yeah, introducing Richard Goddard. Over the last 18 months, there's been plenty of things that PROF have done outside of its scope for campaigning for safer roadside and red lights. And we've had the 23 National Police Chiefs Conference, we've had the PROFCon EV case study, we've had the Joint Summit, and then in December, right here, we had the EV Recovery Industry Seminar. And now we've got, and then we had the NPCC BRG conference. So, was it worth having those conferences? What have we done with the information that we've got from them? What are our actions? What are responses? And what are the conclusions that you people drew from the information that we gave you? Duty of care. Our customers, in their own way, have a duty of care of the things that they ask us to do. The safety aspect, the risk assessment, and the economic viability of some of the contracts that we are given and asked to sign. But as much as they have a duty of care, as do the managing agents, you've got a duty of care to yourselves. You've got a duty of care to make sure when you're putting pen to paper, does it work for you? And as I said before, I can't tell you. None of us can tell you. Some of the cleverest people, some of the richest people in the recovery industry are right here in this room. So I'm not going to tell them how to run their businesses. And the work providers are certainly not going to listen to us about what they should be doing. But what we should be doing as an industry is understanding our businesses. The ABI, the elephant in the room, because where the ABI are set our premiums, and each one of us is gonna have an increase in our premiums this year, whether we like it or not, and you've got to ask yourself, can your business sustain the increase that's going to take place? Now, the ABI have done a brilliant job mitigating why there's been 50 and 60% increases in premiums. They're very good at that. They've managed to explain and convince everybody why their premiums have gone up. If you see there, ABI's data shows for every pound collected in premiums, the motor insurance industry currently pays out £1.10. What does that mean to us? Because if they've badly underwritten the industry that we're in, how is it going to feed back to us? And is then that market sustainable? I can't tell you that. You answer those questions yourselves. But insurance prices are based on the risk and claims. EVs are 25% more expensive compared with internal combustion engines. What does that tell you? And how many of you in the room, you haven't got to put your hands up, but how many people are storing these vehicles for nothing? How many people have signed contracts where they're allowed to stay in their yards for weeks and days on end for nothing? Now that's not down to the work providers, it's down to you. And whilst the ABI are the ones that set our premiums. The fact of the matter is, they're also 90% of the time our paymasters. So if they can mitigate for those increases in their premiums, where is that money going to, and why isn't it coming back down into our industry? They're not going to just do it. You have got to ask for it, and you have got to say, if they can't afford it, how can you? I've just gone over all of that. I'm not going to preach to you, but recovery operators need to become commercially aware. As our insurance-backed work providers are predominantly our paymasters. I've just said that. But on your drives back, turn off ABBA, turn off the Rolling Stones, think about what you've been told today. Because sooner or later, if you haven't already been approached about your insurance premiums, you are, and it's coming to a place near you soon. And it's not like when you sign a contract, a police contract, or a managing agent contract, and think, it's all right, I'll make it work somehow. When all of a sudden, you're writing off 40, 50% of your profit margin, that's coming to you today, it's coming to you now. And if you think your business can sustain that, you watch the cash drop out the bottom of your business, just like that. So I'm not going to go over and over again about the responsibility, it's yours. But we need to be proactive in approaching our work providers. Not demanding, not my trade unions, but proactive and making a case that's sustainable and audible. Whether it's a contract variation for the police or a contract variation for the AA. But it's up to you to look at those contract variations. And it's up to you to understand what you need. Because, as you'll see as we move forward with some of our presentations, especially the one that's coming from the police, is that the EV market in particular presents a clear and present danger to our industry. It's a marketplace that has been badly underwritten and we're being asked to pay the costs of that. But going forward in storage, what is health and safety, what we are legally allowed to store, the distances, right? Landlords, all these fires. I think I said it before, but I'll say it again. At the EV conference in October last year, I said about storing electric vehicles above each other and their increased weights and the concrete that some of these car parks have been built from. And I said, sooner or later, there's going to be either a bad accident on a motorway, which we've had, or an airport that's got multi-storey car parks. If we had a fire there, look what could happen. Well, it's a fact that about 7 days later, Luton Airport burnt down. All right, the police couldn't find my matches, but it burnt down, and that is a fact. And then we've seen all the other fires that have taken place. And when people say, well, we need evidence, we need this, what sort of evidence do you need? Because some of these fires that have taken place, if it was a VRO, if it was me, 3 porta cabins and BP would go up in flames, never to be seen again. And each one of your businesses, unless you own all the property, unless you own all the ground, sooner or later your landlords are going to say, if you're storing electric vehicles, I don't want you storing it on my property. And sooner or later, I honestly believe that when insurers come to you, they're going to ask you about what part of the market of EVs do you have? Is your business, what percentage of it is police contracts? And that's going to make a difference in the premiums that they set you. Also the standards that you have as well. But we're being asked to do something and take responsibility for it. And what I can't understand is EVs present a clear and present danger to us, yet their policies are given away free by the manufacturers. They build the things, they sell the things, and then they give roadside assistance away free. So that's how badly underwritten it is. And that's why the market isn't sustainable for us to be involved in. And another point I'd like you to take is that Apex, very kindly, feed us information, and they give me information so that I can look at what we're doing and why we're doing it. I won't go into the exact figures, but these are the percentages. Over 30% of the work offered to us, which are hundreds and thousands of jobs, are refused. We are only accepting 70% of the work that's been offered to us. So what does that tell you? When we can't supply the demand, when we can't meet the demand, and our customers can't get us to, who's in charge of that marketplace? When you say, if I don't do it, someone else will do it, well, someone else isn't doing it, because there is no one else. So you've got to take that equation when you're thinking, if I don't ask for this, if I don't get this, they're going to give it to someone else. There is only us. There is no one else. And so don't be frightened about moving forward. Don't be frightened about what's going on down the road. Look around this room. Every player from the recovery industry, apart from are here. And if we haven't got to unite, and we haven't got to become a trade union, we've got to become commercially aware and as commercially aggressive as our paymasters and the people that set our premiums. I'm not going to go all the way through the rest of this because it'd be repetitive, and I'm conscious of time and I'm conscious of the police now doing their presentation, because this will run into that. But thank you for listening. Oh yeah, that's true. Eventually, they will get what they pay for. And that'll be down to you, because you can make that commercial decision. So you can either have this, or this. I don't know whose truck that is, I didn't really want it on there. But that's the difference. And I urge you, I'm not telling you, but I urge you to take on board what's saying. We're trying to educate you, and PROF has brought this industry together and made us more commercially aware. Use it, because that's how we'll go forward. Thank you for listening. Thank you.